also employ youth under the age of 18 to attempt to buy tobacco products at licensed tobacco retailers. And so those checks are typically done on all the licensed tobacco retailers in the county. That's sort of how a TUPA operates. And so in Rensselaer County, that's about 170 stores. By way of comparison, Schenectady has almost the same amount, 164, and Albany has almost twice as many, 338. And that's based on the most recent data that we have from the Office of Tax and Finance. So, so a TUPA does the compliance checks for underage sales utilizing youth, and the officers also go in to ensure that they're conforming with other laws, local and state laws. So the Tobacco 21 laws in Albany and Schenectady require enforcement, and I understand the language in the one before you does as well. But it isn't as stringent as a TUPA in that it doesn't dictate that all stores must be visited in a particular calendar year, for example. So it definitely charges a particular agency with responsibility and says that there needs to be an enforcement mechanism in place, but it doesn't dictate that kind of a stringent requirement. So what both counties did in their initial years of implementing Tobacco 21 was that they set targets for their initial year checks and then increased that number in year 2, with the goal being that Tobacco 21 compliance checks on all retailers would be conducted at every retailer over a 2-year period. A TUPA is a 1-year period, just as a comparison. So the initial startup costs, as I asked about that, really included things like printing new signage that needed to go up to indicate some educational materials for retailers, but except for in Schenectady County, that was less than 200 things that needed to be printed, in Albany a little bit more. But they both had their in-house printing units print those materials. And so they really said that the costs for them were fairly minimal. Whether that's true across all municipalities, I don't know. But I know that every local municipality that's had to or chosen to entertain local laws related to tobacco control always are concerned about what those associated costs are going to be, responsibly so, and how they're going to manage them. And this is how Albany and Schenectady did it. So they did their in-house printing for that information, but the signs that go up, they're 8.5 by 11 signs on cardstock. So it's not like they're spending $25 per sign or that kind of a thing. So the cost they set initially for those kinds of materials was really minimal. The additional cost that they've incurred, in addition to going out and doing the checks, is in hiring. Both of them have chosen, for a variety of reasons, to do a TUPA checks for under 18 violations, if you will, and Tobacco 21 for under 21 separately. So it's not that one youth who's 17 goes in, and if a retailer sells tobacco to him or her, that's a twofer, right? So if you have a Tobacco 21 law that's a violation of a TUPA, it's also a violation of Tobacco 21. But there are a variety of legal reasons and practical reasons that counties have chosen not to do that. So they employ a youth who is 18 years old to do the Tobacco 21 checks. So however many they decide to do in a given year, they do need to train and employ an 18-year-old to do those. Now, it was interesting to us that in Albany, which has 338 retailers, they actually employ an 18-year-old for a 2-week period to conduct all the checks that they do for a particular calendar year. So you're talking about training and employing an 18-year-old for a 2-week period. Again, not a significant cost, but an associated cost for sure. Hope that makes sense. What happened in Schenectady County is they'd invested training in 16 and 17-year-olds for the ATUPA checks. They aged out, and then they were able to employ those same youth for T21 checks, which saved them the additional cost of needing to train new youth. So there is the possibility of sort of, graduating, if you will, from one sort of compliance check to another. And that was another way in which they kept costs down. in addition to the fact that, the reports are that there were some initial startup costs, but certainly not extensive, and that all of them were able to sort of manage that in-house, there are ways to have additional revenue support whatever associated costs there are above and beyond. For example, violations of Tobacco 21 laws usually result in a fee being charged. Those fees could be targeted, if you will, for enforcement and compliance checks and those kinds of things, the Tobacco 21. And additionally, Tobacco 21 can be implemented and has been implemented in some localities, not in Albany or Schenectady, but it can be implemented as part of a local retail licensing system. Licensing systems are usually supported by a licensing fee that's leveraged by the municipality, and they don't have to be a significant amount to provide the revenue needed for any additional enforcement. And even for cash-strapped retailers, we know from our own experience that tobacco companies will frequently help retailers in whatever way they can to comply with additional tobacco controls because they don't want to lose a sales outlet. So typically additional fees have not caused retailers to close left and right. So the structure of enforcement that's already in place in New York State, in some ways we're fortunate that we have a TUPA, not all states do, really provides the infrastructure for something like Tobacco 21. And even though costs are relatively small, at least in Albany and Schenectady County, there are ways to raise revenue to support local enforcement if community wants to do that. So, my plan is to continue to reach out to other counties to see how their experiences compare to Albany and Schenectady to the extent that they've already done their implementation, and to get that information back to you. And, if any of you have more specific questions or persistent questions, additional questions about enforcement or those kinds of things and how other places have done it, we're happy to research that and do the outreach to get that information back to you, so that can be part of your consideration process. I'll also put in writing, as I continue to talk to places, some of this information so that you'll have easier access to it. So I don't know if it's appropriate to take any of your questions now, or just encourage you and invite you to let me know, or let somebody know who will let me know what your questions and concerns are, and I'd be happy to get that information back to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. I'd be interested in knowing, from an enforcement perspective, with the other counties around us, in what direction is the enforcement directed? Is it towards the purchaser or towards the operator of the business?
No, those laws, and I believe my reading of the proposed law here, are both looking at sales. So the law language, and I know this is true for Albany and Schenectady, I'm pretty sure it's true here. The law language is that it's proposing to raise the minimum age for the legal sale of tobacco products, and all that tobacco products includes in the definition. There is not any penalty for the purchaser. That's correct. And those kinds of laws had been shown to be really problematic in communities that have tried them for a wide variety of reasons, and that's in part. There's already a system in place to deal with sales at that end. Trying to do enforcement of purchasers is truly unwieldy and just impracticable.
Now, I was just asking if they're over 18 years old and they commit a crime, they're committing a crime by buying it. So I don't understand why they don't get punished.
It's not a crime to possess tobacco in New York State.
No, I know it's not. That's not what we're saying.
Or use it, or buy it.
No, it's okay. So you're just saying that they can do it and there's no penalty for them, but just for the store.
Right. And again, a lot of the reasons for not having those kinds of laws, and I mean, I can share a lot of information. I'll share information with you. I'll pass it along so that you can see how those, looking at purchaser, why those kinds of laws, when they've been implemented, have been problematic, and you can evaluate that for yourself. But I think they're called PUP laws, persons, I can't remember exactly what that stands for, but I'll definitely get PUP law information to you, and that might help to answer some of those questions. It's a good question.
Thank you, Mr. Bertsky.
Thank you. That was almost there.
I'm getting there.
So close. Thank you for your time.
All right, that does it for our public speakers for this evening. We'll get on to our regular meeting. At this particular time, I would ask that everybody, being that today is September 11th, remember the 17 years ago with the bombings that occurred with the airplanes into the Twin Towers in New York, as well as in the Pentagon in Washington, and the plane that went down in Pennsylvania, a moment of silence. Thank you. Seems only appropriate to hear sirens in the background. Okay. This is gonna kill me. Okay. A roll call.
Ms. Ash McPherson. Here. Mr. Bailey.
Here.
Mr. Bendet.
Here.
Mr. Burns.
Here.
Mr. Casal.
Here.
Ms. Doran.
Present.
Mr. Fiacco.
Here.
Mr. Fleming.
Here.
Mr. Grant.
Present.
Mr. Grimm.
Here.
Mr. Harrington.
Present.
Ms. Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. Leverage.
Here.
Mr. Patiri.
Here.
Mr. Peter.
Here.
Mr. Tessman.
Here.
Ms. Sullivan Tita. Mr. Wysocki.
Here.
Chairman Stammel.
Here.
19 present.
Team President. Invocation, Mr. Grant.
God, as we remember the horrifying events of September 11th, 2001, hold us in the shelter of your enduring love. Grant that the passion of our Lord and his infinite love may make fruitful for good the tribulations of the innocent, the sufferings of the rescuers, and the sorrows of the bereaved. We ask this in the name of your Son and our brother, who suffered and died for the sake of all people. Amen.
Amen. Legislator Grimm, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Harrington.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the regular meeting of August 14, 2018, and approve the minutes as printed.
A second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. To the clerk, presentation of petitions,
On file.
presentation of communications,
On file.
reports of commissions,
On file.
departmental reports,
On file.
reports of standing committees,
On file.
local laws.
There are 2 introductory tonight.
Thank you. Index of resolutions, P38518.
P38518, resolution commending Verdial's Restaurant upon their 75th anniversary, introduced by legislators Ash McPherson and the entire legislative body.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
19 ayes.
P38618.
P38618, resolution commending the Rensselaer County Domestic Violence Unit upon the 10th anniversary of the New York State's Shine the Light on Domestic Violence campaign and recognizing the month of October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, introduced by legislators Grant and the entire legislative body.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. P38718.
P38718, resolution commending Paul and Elaine Hohenberg as the recipients of the 2018 Hart Cluett Award, introduced by legislators Grimm, Doran, Burns, Fleming, Sullivan, Tita, and the entire legislative body.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. P38818.
P38818, resolution recognizing the 2018 Van Rensselaer Award recipients, introduced by legislators Grimm, Doran, Burns, Fleming, Sullivan, Tita, and the entire legislative body.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. P38918.
P38918, resolution recognizing October 2018 as Anti-Bullying Awareness Month, introduced by legislators Stammel and the entire legislative body.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. P. 39018.
P 39018, resolution recognizing October as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month in Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Fiacco and the entire legislative body.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. P. 39118.
P 39118, resolution recognizing September as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month as September 28, 2018 as Rensselaer County Goes Gold Day, introduced by legislators Grant and the entire legislative body.
All in favor? Aye. So moved.
19 ayes.
P. 39218.
P 39218, resolution appointing a member to the Rensselaer County Soil and Water Conservation Board, introduced by legislators Stammel, Hoffman, Harrington, Grimm, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes, 1 abstention, Mr. Peter.
So moved. P. 39318.
P 39318, resolution supporting the City of Troy's grant application seeking funding from the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act, WIIA, to replace water transmission lines from the Tom Hannock Reservoir to the Troy Water Plant, introduced by legislators Ash McPherson and the entire legislative body.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. P. 39418.
P 39418, resolution amending the contract with Chase and Companies for construction management services for the reconstruction of grit collection and treatment system, Rensselaer County Sewer District Number 1, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G. 39518.
G 39518, resolution amending agreements with the construction of grit collection and treatment project, Rensselaer County Sewer District Number 1, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G. 39618.
G 39618, resolution authorizing the purchase of 2 variable frequency drives and amending the 2018 Rensselaer County adopted budget, Rensselaer County Sewer District Number 1, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All in favor? Aye. So moved.
19 ayes.
G. 39718.
G 39718, resolution authorizing execution of contracts for the purchase of microcomputer hardware and software, Bureau of Research and Information Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G. 39818.
G 39818, resolution authorizing the the county executive to work with the City of Troy, the City of Rensselaer, the City of Troy, and the Town of North Greenbush to explore the creation of waterfront trail in Rensselaer County, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G. 39918.
G 39918, resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of a new air conditioner unit in the server room in the Rensselaer County Jail, Office of the Sheriff, introduced by legislators Tessman, Grant, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G. 418.
G 418, resolution authorizing the purchase of computing networking hardware, software, storage services, support, and peripherals from state contracts, Bureau of Research and Information Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. Okay, G. 40118.
G 40118, resolution authorizing and directing the Rensselaer County Chief Fiscal Officer to correct the tax rolls for the town of East Greenbush for various years, Bureau of Tax Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G. 40218.
G 40218, resolution authorizing and directing the Rensselaer County Chief Fiscal Officer to correct the tax rolls for the town of Schodack in East Greenbush, Bureau of Tax Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G. 40318.
G 40318, resolution authorizing the county executive to submit a small cities community development block grant application to the New York State Office of Homes and Community Renewal, setting a public hearing date and authorizing the county executive to sign an agreement if funded, Bureau of Economic Development and Planning, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Bailey, Bendet, and Fleming.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G. 40418.
G 40418, resolution authorizing the purchase of tourniquets for the county's Medical Reserve Corps, Department of Health, introduced by legislators Bendet, Casal, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G. 40518.
G 40518, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant from the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee and amending the 2018 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget Office of the Sheriff, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 40618.
G 40618, resolution authorizing the acceptance of an award from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services and amending the 2018 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 40718.
G 40718, resolution authorizing a contract for the lease and laundering of uniforms and mats for Highway and Auto Maintenance Departments, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 40818.
G 40818, resolution authorizing an agreement with the renewal for the processing of the Rensselaer County Government Mail, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 40918.
G 40918, resolution amending resolution G 2117 for County Route 114 Master Street over the Pawampacon Creek Highway Department, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. You did much better with that name than I did the first time. G, 41018.
G 41018, resolution authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance 100% of the federal aid and state Marchicelli program aid eligible cost of a transportation project, County Route 114 Master Street Bridge over the Pawampacon Creek, amending the 2018 adopted Rensselaer County budget and authorizing the Rensselaer County executive to execute supplemental agreement number 1 for the project with the New York State Department of Transportation Highway Department, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 41118.
G 41118, resolution authorizing the conveyance of certain real property to the former owners listed below who paid tax arrearages in full prior to the scheduling of auction sale, Bureau of Finance, introduced by legislators Leverage, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 41218.
G 41218, resolution authorizing a contract with the Albany Medical Center Hospital Department of Health, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tita, Bendet, Cassell, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 41318.
G 41318, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant from the New York State Division of Homeland Security and the Emergency Services and amending the 2018 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Bureau of Public Safety, Department of Health, and Bureau of Research and Information Services, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 41518.
G 41418, resolution authorizing the purchase of fire investigation unit and the removal and installation of reflective graphics, Bureau of Public Safety, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. So moved.
19 ayes.
G, 41518.
G 41518, resolution authorizing the purchase of a communication alerting system, Bureau of Public Safety, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 41618.
G 41618, resolution authorizing the purchase of personal protective gear, Bureau of Public Safety, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 41718.
G 41718, resolution authorizing the county to pay litigation awards and civil fine and penalty assessed and amending the 2018 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, County Attorney, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 41818.
G 41818, resolution authorizing a maintenance agreement with Audemars LLC and for the Caseload Explorer Probation Case Management System, Department of Probation, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 41918.
G 41918, resolution amending the 2018 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, District Attorney, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Doran.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G, 42018.
G 42018, resolution authorizing amendment of agreements with the Capital District Youth Center, Inc. regarding the Regional Secure Detention Facility, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, and Sullivan, Tita.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G42118.
G42118, resolution amending the 2018 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G42218.
G42218, resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an agreement with NISTEC, Bureau of Research and Information Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tieta, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
So moved. G42318.
G42318, resolution authorizing the county of Rensselaer to sell certain real property to the village of Castleton for public benefit, Bureau of Finance, introduced by legislators Leverage, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
19 ayes.
G42418.
G42418, resolution approving a lease agreement and the extension for 30 North Russell Road, Albany, Hudson Valley Community College, introduced by legislator Stammel.
All in favor?
Aye.
19
Opposed?
ayes.
Okay. So moved. G42518.
P42518, resolution adjourning the September 11, 2018 legislative meeting in memory of Stephanie J. Zini, introduced by legislators Hoffman, Fiacco, Grant, Bailey, and the entire legislative body.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
19 ayes.
That concludes resolutions for this month. We adjourn this, make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great, safe ride home.